In Metal Gear Solid 3, if you shoot the hornet's nest above the guard's head, it will cause them to panic and flee from the bugs. This makes the area with the rope bridge relatively easy to get through. In Metal Gear Solid 3, when we are on our way to rescue Sokolov, if Snake is wearing the mask, you won't be able to start the cutscene showing the meeting. Contacting Zero will provide some information, as apparently Sokolov is no fan of Major Rykov.
Snake, when you meet Sokolov, don't go in wearing that mask.
Why?
He won't like it.
Won't like it?
No.
Why not?
Just trust me, he won't.
Yeah.
You'll need Sokolov's full cooperation to complete this mission successfully. Don't do anything to make him lose confidence in you. When you go in to meet Sokolov, make sure you remove your disguise. Got it?
In Metal Gear Solid 2, if you take a picture of the right screen in the room with the dual projectors, an image of the ghost of series creator Hideo Kojima will appear. Sending this to Otacon will freak him out, as he has an unreasonable fear of ghosts.
Don't send me creepy stuff like this. What if I get possessed or something? Sorry, but this doesn't work. I hate to ask, but can you try again?
In Metal Gear Solid 2, a game released in 2001, you can do a surprising amount of environmental damage. This is showcased well in the Tanker chapter, where in the crew's lounge, Snake can break the main glass window. Shoot up the magazines on the rack, shatter the bottles behind the bar, and even spill the ice on the counter, which melts over time. Throughout the rest of the tanker, we can find these types of hidden bits. We can break the condiments in the crew's quarters and even make tonal sounds with the cookware. Smashing up the food supply can be quite a good time as well. This is also used as a gameplay mechanic, where you can shoot nearby objects to cause them to spill or spray, revealing any hidden laser traps. Another terrific small detail in Metal Gear Solid 2. In Metal Gear Solid, we meet TKs-Mantis. The former KGB psychic has a few tricks up his sleeve that makes this one of the most memorable boss encounters of all time. Things get weird before we even come face to face with Mantis, as Meryl will begin to act pretty strange the closer we get to the commander's office. During this period, if we use the first-person view, we will see through the eyes of Meryl, even though the map will show Snake's cone. After we get adequately introduced to Mantis, he will show off his powers. During this, some dialogue will be different depending on how you have played the game, or if you have played some other Konami games. Usually, Mantis will remark that your memory is clean. Still, if your memory card has saves from a couple of different Konami titles, he will mention these as he reads your mind.
You are a very methodical man, the type that always kicks his tires before he leaves. You are a highly skilled warrior, well suited to this stealth mission. You are extremely careful of traps. You are either very cautious, or you are a coward. Still don't believe me? Now I'll read more deeply into your soul. I can see into your mind. You like Castlevania, don't you? You have not said often. You are somewhat reckless.
This carries over to the Twin Snakes remake, though obviously the game list changes to Nintendo games.
You are a highly skilled warrior, well suited to this stealth mission. You are extremely careful of traps. You are either very cautious or you are a coward. Still don't believe me? Now I'll read more deeply into your soul. I see that you enjoy Nintendo games. You like action games? You've been playing Super Mario Sunshine, haven't you? You have not saved very often. You are somewhat reckless.
Continuing on the Twin Snakes differences, the three portraits on the wall contain real-life people: Ryuichi Kitamura, Hideo Kojima, and Dennis Dayak. These pictures will laugh after Mantis shows his powers of moving the controller. Unlike the original, Mantis will then set fire to the room, or at least paint the illusion that he is. When this happens, Dayak's portrait will show a burned skull and muscle, which will prompt Kojima to look towards it. If we call Campbell enough times during the battle, he will give the secret to beating TKs-Mantis using the second controller port.
I've got it. Use the controller port. Plug your controller into controller port 2. If you do that, he won't be able to read your mind.
Suppose this doesn't work, and Snake dies after hearing this tip. In that case, Campbell will confront Snake about it after we start the fight again, this time mentioning that if the bandages on the statues are destroyed, Mantis won't be able to read Snake's mind. This will then allow us to eliminate the busts around the office.
Snake, is there some reason you can't use controller port 2? Well, it's okay. Do you see something that looks like a statue on both sides of the room?
Yeah. You mean those things with their faces all wrapped up in leather bands?
Yes. Attack those statues to uncover their faces.
Why?
Those statues were modeled after Mantis's real face. Mantis despises the sight of his own face. If he suddenly sees his own disfigured face staring at him, it might break his concentration.
Snake, if you destroy the faces of those statues, you should be able to disturb Mantis's psychic powers.
TKs-Mantis is genuinely a great character in a series filled with stellar writing and game development. This boss had me on the edge of my seat in 1998, and it still impresses me today. In Metal Gear Solid, you can select Briefing from the main menu. This is a collection of tapes that were recorded before the mission on Shadow Moses takes place. Suppose you exit from this menu after only watching the first tape. In that case, you will be greeted with a secret video of Snake trying to refuse the mission.
Colonel, I don't work for the government anymore. Let me go back to Twin Lakes.
Why, Snake? Is your life in Alaska all that great?
There's a dog sled race this week. Next Saturday, I have to be in Anchorage.
The Iditarod? The longest sled race in the world? When did you become a dog musher?
Right now, my 50 huskies are my only family. I've got to take care of them.
Don't worry about your dogs.
What do you mean?
I'm sorry, Snake, but this vessel is headed for the Bering Sea. There's no room for debate.
I told you, even if I do owe you, I don't owe anything to this army or this country.
You will accept this assignment.
Why should I be stupid enough to do that? I'm no patriot.
Snake, there's enough dirt in your file from your days as an agent to keep you in the stockade until you're a very old man.
Oh, I see. Blackmail.
No, Snake. I prefer to look at it as helping you come to a decision more easily. But anyway, I know you better than that. You'd take this assignment even without the threat.
Why do you say that?
You're a natural-born soldier. You're not the grow old gracefully type. It's the same for all of us who've seen real action. The only place we can feel truly alive is on the battlefield. I'm a soldier too. I know those feelings of powerlessness, frustration that you feel every day. You've tried to play the Boy Scout out there in Alaska, but you can't race dogs in the snow forever. Why don't you come back to us and be a soldier again?
You think my life is some kind of a joke?
Snake, I just want to give you back your purpose in life.
In Metal Gear Solid 2, Snake will come into a room with two projectors during the Commandant's speech. They will alternate switching between the screens on the left and the right. Snake can interact with the controls and switch the current screen showing the speech. If you do this too much, it will trigger a cutscene where a couple of Japanese models will appear instead of the lecture, which ultimately leads to Snake being humorously discovered by the Marines.
Some say that the strategic importance of aircraft carriers will be reduced by the completion of Ray. The opposition from the Navy is an undeniable fact. There is a lot of pressure from Navy brass, especially those with submarine and air background. Not to mention interference from a major player. But this project is vital to the Marine Corps. The enemy is sometimes closer to home than you think, gentlemen. Always bear that in mind. Ours is not the only military project devoted to Metal Gear development, but it cannot be more difficult.
Snake, you okay? Snake! Snake!
In Metal Gear Solid 2, during the Commandant's speech, we can find a Marine who seems to have forgotten his pants. Taking a picture of this and sending it to Otacon will send him into hysterics.
So, any codec moments from you, Snake? The first one I'm seeing is... This is hilarious! This rules. But we can't use it. Get the shots we need.
If you call Otacon while inside a locker on the Tanker chapter of Metal Gear Solid 2, you will be greeted with an Easter egg that shows Snake mocking his pal about when they first met. This is a reference to the first time we see Otacon before the Grey Fox fight in the original Metal Gear Solid.
This reminds me of when we first met.
I was the one inside the locker that time. We're equal now, huh?
Not unless I wet my pants.
That's a low blow, Snake.
Stealth camouflage? Who are you?
Where is my friend?
What are you talking about? Oh, what next?
If you take the vents under the floor to get to Ray in Metal Gear Solid 2, you will be able to climb up the right side behind the Metal Gear. If you go into first person or use the camera here, you can spot Ocelot getting ready to crash the party. If you look again, he will be gone, and he won't show up at all if you have a weapon equipped. Sending a picture of him to Otacon will make him have a freak out.
Don't send me creepy stuff like this. What if I get possessed or something? Sorry, but this doesn't work. I hate to ask, but can you try again?
Squeeze my hog.